pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. Mrs. Gould.
I'm here.
Mr. Thompson.
Present.
Mr. Cabrera.
I'm here. In compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975, the notice requirements have been satisfied as to the time, place, and date of holding said meeting by posting notice on the bulletin board here in Borough Hall and by mailing and emailing same to the Herald of Cape May County and the Press of Atlantic City on October 28th, 2020. In the event of an emergency, your emergency exit is your back right where you came in, or your front left, or our front right. A couple quick announcements. This meeting is being shown live on YouTube and also streaming live on Facebook. And you have the ability to call in via conference if anyone who is watching virtually or remotely would like to ask a question or make a comment. You're going to dial that number 888-363-4734. And when prompted, you're going to enter the access code 969-9020, followed by the pound or the hashtag. In the event that you watch a recorded version, you can always ask your question or make your statement via email to our clerk at clerk@wildwoodcrest.org or call directly 609-729-8040. We have no ordinances listed here on the agenda. We're going to move forward on the resolutions. Madam Clerk?
Yes, sir. The first is authorizing award of contract for the fiscal year 2019 NJDCA Small Cities Program renovations to the old library.
I want discussion on this after the vote.
We just have to do a motion in a second, then we'll discuss.
Okay.
I need a
I'll make that
motion.
motion.
I'll second it.
Okay, then we can do discussion.
Okay, since I only have one more meeting after this, and I'm going down, but not with a fight, but with a fight. I think it's a big mistake to put money into that building, because here are de Blasio's plans for 88 spaces for a parking lot. If you've driven around this town, you see lots of houses, single homes have gone down, and 2 or 3 other edifices are going up in the place. We have no place to park. And to reiterate that, in the August 9th edition of the Press, that brass knuckles used in Crest was on Heather Road. This was on Heather Road. There was a fight over a parking spot. A parking. So you can imagine. So you can imagine. Gentlemen are going to be new. You're going to have a hard time. You're going to have a hard time. These cars are jump in front of each other. Jump in front of each other. I think it's really important. We are the only county that does not have a beachfront parking lot. It's really important. It's really important. You're going to see people need it. You're going to driving around for hours. They're just going to never going to be able to come here and enjoy the things that we have. So that's my spiel. After 28 years, this is something that's needed. Thank you. Thank you.
Mr. Thompson?
Okay,
Mr.
so,
Thompson?
I agree with Joyce on needing parking. We've done what we've can for that. It's been the biggest problem this town has faced for years anyway. I did bring up a while back that I still believe at Sunrise Park on the corner, not as large as projected, additional parking there. That is 3 blocks worth of recreation area. I think it would support parking on that corner, and I would still be in favor of that. With that being said, the library, we're going to be picking up a few extra spots there when that gets done. However, the previous administration, before I was here, spent approximately $160,000 on that building between a new roof and architect plans at the time. We have since spent more money on the repair of it and other architects. They're already over $200,000 spent. I don't see throwing that money away and putting a parking lot that's going to get used for about 6 weeks, maybe 8 at the most, and then sit vacant all year. When I was running for office, I spoke to a lot of the seniors, and they were very heavily in favor of having a senior center that we could use with a lot of senior programs. They tell us they currently go to Avalon, North Wildwood, Stone Harbor, and don't understand why we can't have it here. We have the building, The building is sound. Once you tear it down, you won't build back up. And I think there's a lot of programs that could be used in that building for the seniors and the kids in this town alike. We don't do much after November anyway. Crest Pier, for those you don't know, is basically closed all summer because of the kids' camp. So you're not going to run programs or do anything for anybody all summer long at Crest Pier. Crest Pier also is mainly a basketball court, as far as I'm concerned. It's very industrial. The seniors don't appear comfortable with the building, whereas this would be a much more comfortable building. It'll be used for tourism as well as locals. Tourism during the summer, locals all year round. One of the plans would be to move our tourism welcome center into that building, but there are a lot of plans for that building. I don't see letting it sit empty, vacant for 10 months out of the year. To me, that's ridiculous. The parking, agreed we need more, and I am still all for, like I said, down at Sunrise Park, on the corner, a little smaller version than what it became for parking over there. With the additional parking here, we'll have the same thing. Our Director of Public Safety tells us they don't really use the meters across the street until the very height of the season. So the meters across the street are sitting empty all through June until we are jammed full. They go down to Seaview and where they can park for free. So again, 2 months worth of use of that property to me is not the best use of that property. When we brought Roger Brooks in here, we're renowned for doing Main Streets and the Olympic Villages. He was highly against the parking lot there, and he loved the property and the building and thought it was great for us for a social center and senior center. I could go on, but I won't. I'll just make the meeting too long, and Trish always has a time limit. So that's my opinion on that.
Okay, so just to take everyone back, first of all, this administration's been in these seats for almost 4 years. We've had this particular topic and project on the schedule for those 4 years. We've talked about it at nauseum. We've had numerous presentations. We've made numerous points. I'll just go back and make a couple of the points that we've made along the way. First of all, the building is historic. You heard me talk about that in our presentation at the old library, at the Crest Pier regarding the old library. The building was donated to the borough back in the early 1970s. That lot that it currently sits on was created by accretion, which means that the beach was growing and it formed between two motel units. We start tearing down our history and is not preserving it, then who are we as a community? Number one. Number two, parking there is going to be parking on the southern side of the building as soon as we get the CAFR permit. If you speak to the same public safety director that Mr. Thompson spoke about, he will advise you that the meters are not used during the peak summer along Ocean and Atlantic Avenue. People refuse to put money in the meters. They'd rather park on the side streets. And let's be honest, if we have a parking problem, that's a good thing. It means there's people coming here to our community, patronizing our motels and our businesses. It's not every day. It's mostly on the weekends when you have the influx of the weekend traffic. So if we can all learn to persevere through the busyness, that's what we're all about. That's what our 2 months here in the year, that's what Wildwood Crest and the entire island is all about. Yes, we did put money into the roof. There's a brand new roof on the building. We also asked our insurance carrier to, our self-funded, we have a GIF fund, to cover the expense to repair the north side of the building as a result of the windstorm. Now, we did that claim knowingly that we were going to continue to renovate this building. So you can't take a claim and not put it towards the intended purposes. Number four, we also took out a grant. Okay, there's going to be public restrooms there. DCA, we applied for it. We have received roughly $260,000 towards the renovations of new ADA accessible bathrooms. There is a revenue stream on these new designs that are going to come back to the borough in the form of a retail, in the form of a restaurant/coffee shop area. There'll be additional parking, as I mentioned, on the south side. There'll be building rentals, and the building will also be used for weddings. So we'll have a facility that can be multi-purpose in the form of having tourism there, as far as tourism operation, as far as having a retail spot to buy the Crest merchandise that you see, that the logo is trademarked. you'll see the museum, all the historical artifacts of the crest, which we sold the street signs around town. We saved that money to put towards the preservation of all the historical artifacts that was once housed by the Crest Historical Society. So all of those things being said, I think the building is going to be a nice attraction for residents and vacationers. I think that will also have a nature/environmental/art flavor to it, so that people can use it for those types of, Green Team is one of our own in-house organizations that will be using it. Love Blue, who is the organization that we've partnered with to help keep our beaches and our ocean ways clean, has a spot where they could also house some displays and so forth. That all said, we talked about this. I know Mrs. Gould's position has been very clear on the parking. It will have some additional parking. It will have a better use as a preservation of history in Wildwood Crest, but also as a multifunctional building that has a revenue stream back to this municipality.
Ready for a roll call?
Ready?
Roll call. Mrs. Gould.
No.
Mr. Thompson.
Yes.
Mr. Cabrera.
Yes.
Next, we have ratifying and confirming the appointment by Patricia A. Faketics, Registrar, of Victoria L. Mason as alternate Deputy Registrar.
So moved.
Second?
It has been moved and seconded that the foregoing resolution be adopted. Roll call. Mrs. Gould.
Yes.
Mr. Thompson.
Yes.
Mr. Cabrera.
Yes.
Next is authorizing the Borough to cancel the grant account receivables and appropriations.
So moved.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded that the foregoing resolution be adopted. Roll call. Mrs. Gould.
Yes.
Mr. Thompson.
Yes.
Mr. Cabrera.
Yes.
Next is authorizing certain appropriation transfers.
So moved.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded that the foregoing resolution be adopted. Roll call. Mrs. Gould.
Yes.
Mr. Thompson.
Yes.
Mr. Cabrera.
Yes.
Next is approving the Wildwood Crest Green Team's recommendation for vegetation lists for outer, coastal, plain, and barrier inland use.
So
Oh,
moved.
island use, sorry.
So moved.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded that the foregoing resolution be adopted. Roll call. Mrs. Gould.
Yes.
Mr. Thompson.
Yes.
Mr. Cabrera.
Yes.
Next is authorizing the appointment of 5 Class 2 officers.
Dave, do you want to do that?
Sure, I'll make that motion.
Can I get a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that the foregoing resolution be adopted. Roll call. Mrs. Gould.
Yes.
Mr. Thompson.
Yes.
Mr. Cabrera.
I'll vote yes if you guys promise you're going to do a speech. No? Yes.
I'm telling you, we're losing one. He's not speaking. We're losing one right away.
The microphone's right there. Next is authorizing amendment to the 2021 municipal budget to account for additional funding from the New Jersey Small Cities Community Development Block Grant 2021 ADA compliance for beach access improvements.
So moved.
Second?
It has been moved and seconded that the foregoing resolution be adopted. Roll call. Mrs. Gould.
Yes.
Mr. Thompson.
Yes.
Mr. Cabrera.
Yes.
Lastly is authorizing release of escrow funds for permit number SO20-0905 in the amount of $1,512.50.
So moved.
Second?
It has been moved and seconded that the foregoing resolution be adopted. Roll call. Mrs. Gould.
Yes.
Mr. Thompson.
Yes.
And Mr. Cabrera.
Yes. Okay, we're going to do the...
Okay, at this time, we're going to swear in our Class 2 officers.
Let's go, gentlemen.
If you gentlemen will all come up front.
You guys have anybody who wants to hold the Bible for you? Family members that come up?
Come on up. Do you have somebody? Okay. Do you have someone? You have someone?
Yeah, you're going to get out of your way.
Guys,
Come down.
you want to come around this way? I'm
We're
facing
going to do
you.
it in one group.
Do you have someone to hold the Bible for you? Does somebody want to?
All right, I'm just going to lay these. Where's the? Oh, you have one?
Do you want to hold it for him? Okay. You got to keep going? Left hand goes on the Bible, right hand goes up.
Okay, gentlemen, before we start, I just want to thank you for coming to Wildwood Crest. Wish you good luck in your schooling. You've got great officers ahead of you. We'll show you the ropes and teach you the way. Wildwood Crest is a great town to be a police officer, and we welcome you into the family. You ready? Okay, so when I start, when I say state my name, you're each going to state your name individually. Okay, ready? I state your name. Do solemnly swear. That I will faithfully. Impartially. And justly perform. All the duties of the office. Of Special Law Enforcement Officer 2. According to the best of my ability. And I do solemnly swear. That I will support the Constitution of the United States. And the Constitution of the State of New Jersey. And that I will bear true faith and allegiance. To the same. And to the governments established in the United States. And in this state. Under the authority of the people. So help me God. Congratulations, gentlemen. You wanted to make the speech, right?
All right, gentlemen.
Denise, we can do it after if it's easier for you.
Yep.
Whatever you want.
While you're done, we're going to need you all to sign your paperwork, okay? Pictures, family, any family want to come up and join me in a picture?
I got Hefner, Ferguson, Gill, Krasinski.
Yep, that's fine. You can leave the Bibles right there.
Above our address.
Above your address sign. Wait, I'm supposed to get pictures.
Should I wait?
No, you're good.
We can all go together.
Well, I don't have enough time. Somebody stole my time when we were in the detective.
You may borrow mine if you like. Have you signed yet? There
I'm
you
gonna have you
go.
sign, just sign.
make
the
sure I
top
get that
one
back.
here, and then we'll pull it out, okay?
Denise, I'll have them notarized afterward.
Thank you.
Chief Lloyd and the police department. I'd like to thank everybody for coming. This is certainly an important first step for these guys in their law enforcement career. Many of us that full-time officers now started this very same way, and want to think just like this and taking that oath of office. Chief Lloyd does apologize that he's not able. This is certainly something that he likes to be here and be present for. Unfortunately, he had some prior engagements, so he wasn't able to be here. But he does wish you guys all the best of luck in the academy. You will see him quite frequently. He is one of the head PT instructors out there, so you will see his face just about every morning. But we do wish you luck. We want to thank the governing body, certainly from the police department. It's very important to us having these guys in this class. It's a great benefit to the town to have them early on in the summer season. So having the support of the mayor, Commissioner Gould, Commissioner Thompson, Mayor Borough certainly does help the department greatly in getting these guys out here and getting them trained and ready to go before our busy season really hits us. So we wish you guys the best of luck. Remember the oath that you just took. The hard work is getting ready to begin. Today's a happy day. Enjoy that with your family, but let's start getting our minds ready for the academy. It's going to test you in ways that you've never been tested before, mentally, physically, your maturity, your teamwork, all that good stuff. And it will get you prepared to come out here and serve this town, and we're sure that you guys will do that proudly. So we welcome you aboard, and we wish you all the best of luck.
Thank you, sir.
Your turn.
I look like Manny out there. bills.
Okay, that brings us to the bills.
I move that all bills properly authorized as submitted be paid.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded that all bills properly authorized as submitted be paid. Roll call. Mrs. Gould.
Yes.
Mr. Thompson?
Yes.
Mr. Cabrera?
Yes. Okay, nothing listed under correspondence. That brings us to public comments. Anybody on the conference line have any public comments? Please give your name and address. Hear none? Anybody here with us today? Hearing none, we'll move on to new business. Nothing under new, nothing new under new. Old business, nothing there. Anybody have anything they want to review? Hearing none. Public comments, last round. Speak now or forever hold your peace, starting with the conference line. Anybody here? Governing body, any comments?
I would like to make a few comments here. If you'll bear with me, I'd like to take a moment today to issue a few thank yous for those that helped in my 4 years here. I'd like to start by thanking the citizens of Wildwood Crest for electing me to office. I've enjoyed the last 4 years. I've always loved this town. I've always wanted to give back. So every decision I made with the best interest of the town at heart. So I just want to touch on a few things. I started off right after election. I had the abandoned cars removed from the old gas station at Columbine, New Jersey. Had the Atlantic City Electric substation house torn down on Syracuse Avenue. That was an eyesore to the neighbors, source of constant complaints, fines from the borough, and I kind of twisted their arm to finally get it torn down and then maintain the property. Right after that, we brought the state down for dredging the lake, or the back bay, actually. So that was going along good. Then there was COVID, so it got derailed for a little bit. However, it's back on. We met again this last month. Looks like it's moving in the right direction. Next was a move to county dispatch. Moving to county dispatch was a good move for Wildwood Crest. We got enhanced services with the 911 services and the county dispatch. It also saved a lot of money for the taxpayers. To date, we're approximately $400,000. It'll be a greater savings going forward as more towns join into the county dispatch, which is happening. There's already been 3 more towns have joined, and it's the way of the future. It keeps us from having to pay for all the upgrades of systems, new consoles. So it's a great benefit to Wildwood Crest. I want to thank Chief Bob Lloyd, former Chief Joe McGrath, and Captain D'Amico for all their work in making that happen, and in all their work for bringing the Wildwood Crest Police Department up to where it should be, where it is now one of the best in Cape May County. We're now fully staffed. We have stopped the exodus of all our young officers. We had about a 10-year period where all young officers left. What that means is you were not getting experienced officers coming to your door all the time when you need it. They would go to school, your 5 Class 2s, and in 2 to 3 years they'd be gone because they'd be hired at other communities. So we took care of that problem. We're now keeping our officers. And I got to tell you, I'd be on fire calls with these officers, and invariably, I love old ladies. They walk up to the door and they would ask them, "What are you, 12? What are you, 14? That was going on for years because they were all brand new. Well, we've stopped that. So you're not now going to have experienced officers. So I want to thank again the police department, all our men and women in the police department. They do a fine job. I want to thank Administrator Connie and Francine. Francine, our CFO, between the two of them, they do a great job. They have saved this borough a lot of money, and they've helped make it what it is. Borough looks good, and a lot of it is from their work. I want to thank Mark de Blasio and Solicitor Ron Gilzunas. They've guided us for the last 4 years. Their help was invaluable, and I do appreciate it. Okay. Also, Borough Clerk Trish Fiketix, always there when you needed anything I needed help with. She was there to help. rescue squad. We've stopped the overtime abuse. We stopped the drama. Morale is greatly improved. With Ron Harwood down there in charge, we have a first-class rescue department. Phone calls never stop. People see me on the street when they've had the use of our rescue squad, and always speak very highly of their professionalism. They're very, very good. Fire company, as always, always there to do the job. First-class fire company, probably the only volunteer fire company left on the island, truly in existence, with full staffing and responding and covering the town. All the other volunteer fire departments basically are in existence with a few members left only. Mostly that's because we stayed out of politics. There's no politics allowed in the Wildwood Crest Fire Company, and I think that bodes well for the fire company and for the town, which is why we're fully staffed. And you still have a volunteer fire company not costing you millions of dollars as the other town. So my hat's off to them, and again, Ronnie for being chief there at the fire company. He's doing a great job there. That brings me to the lifeguards. Chief Buddy Johnson, over 50 years. And what can you say? The guy's great. He runs a great lifeguard department. The lifeguards are second to none. They had a great year this year in all the events that they put on. That's not just fun races for lifeguards. That's training. These guys train, the men and women both, and they work like crazy to be in top physical shape to win these lifeguard races. And what you're getting is very well-trained lifeguards out of it. It gives them, the strength they need to make the rescues. So they're very well-trained and doing a very good job. I want to thank Ralph Grassi, Superintendent of Public Safety, and his team. They do a good job, always out there with all the events we're doing. They're getting brought in a lot of extra time to put the events on and up and down, the barricades, the signs, and everything. They do a great job. Brian Melchior and Code Enforcement, they do a lot. I can't tell you how many phone calls and conversations I've had with Brian over so many different issues in town. You have no idea. You would think it's just a couple things here and there. That is full-time. Brian gets it. He told me just this year, a woman screamed and yelled at him like he's never been. He was in the sheriff's department. He transported prisoners that were more respectful. It's not a good job, but he does a very good job at it, and I want to thank him for that. That brings me to this administration. We've worked very well together. You've had no drama. We've had no issues. Today is probably the one thing that we really have disagreed on, and that's the way it should be. I believe everybody should speak their mind and have their opinion. But we've worked very well together. And I want to thank Mayor Cabrera and Commissioner Gould for all their work and for making it just as enjoyable here. With that, I want to wish the new administration good luck and hope they understand that they're coming on here to do a job for the town, not for themselves, but for the betterment of this town. That's what I've done for 4 years. I'm going to continue to serve this town going forward. I'm in my 35th year in the fire company, and that will continue. The last thing is New Jersey Avenue. I'm looking forward to seeing that be completed, and we'll be around and vocal to see that New Jersey Avenue becomes what it should be and it reaches its full potential. With that, I thank everybody here and all the citizens for the last 4 years.
I'm gonna do this.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'm sorry to see Mr. Thompson and Mrs. Gould leave. Mr. Thompson, I wish you well after life in local government, but I will say, I want to say publicly that in all my years here, I've never seen the public safety department, all the departments included, operate so well. To your credit, there's been, not that I know of, no lawsuits, which is a good thing. All good. You're always going to have issues like any municipality will, but you were right there riding the ship every step of the way. And I think that the taxpayers may never see that. And if they do, I want to make sure that they do know that, that from my perspective, as someone that's been here for a long time, I've never seen it operate so well. And that's kudos to everybody, and certainly Connie and all our department heads and Francine and everyone that makes that all happen. But someone in this form of government, the person that sits at the top is the public safety director, okay? So I just want to make it clear. David, congratulations on a good 4 years, and hopefully you're staying around. You're going to be vocal, because I'm going to probably rely on you on certain controversial topics when they come up. Mrs. Gould, we have something coming for you at the next meeting, so I'll save my comments on that.
There's a seat down there.
Is it warm?
It can be.
There's a seat down there with my name in it. You'll see
Good
me.
stuff. Okay.
Hearing nothing further, I move we adjourn.
I will second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
10:01.